There are today. We'll find out if Scotland's Freedom Day will go ahead as planned. And GBNews political correspondent Tom Harwood went to speak to Douglas Ross on the current Scottish restrictions. Here's what he had to say.
Well, hopefully the First Minister will announce the removal of most of the remaining COVID restrictions that people in Scotland have been living with for now almost a year and a half. So it's hopefully going to be positive news for individuals and for businesses right across the country.
Now, you've been more critical towards Nicola Sturgeon for her views on face masks in schools and other areas. Are you expecting some big moves on that today?
Well, on schools, I would hope we can see an end to pupils having to self-isolate for 10 days just because a classmate has potentially tested positive for COVID-19. We were seeing far too many pupils missing out even more time in the classroom as a result of that. So hopefully we will see a change to that. But we'd also like to see a change to mask wearing in schools. We know there has been advice gone to the Scottish Government that it would be safe to allow pupils within the classroom to remove masks and return to more normal teaching, and that's something I would hope to hear from the First Minister, but I'm not convinced. We'll wait and see what the statement says at 2 o'clock.
Now, of course, this all comes 2 weeks after England reached its lowest level of baseline restrictions. And it seems that cases in England have been tumbling just as quickly as they have been in Scotland. Do you think that Nicola Sturgeon has perhaps been too cautious when it comes to her roadmap compared to other nations in the UK?
Well, I think Nicola Sturgeon was very clear with people that she expected to see a huge increase in the cases in England as a result of easing the restrictions all at once at a time when there was already growing cases, and that's not been proven by the science. So I think we can see now that the decision taken by the Prime Minister and the UK government was one that did allow the economy to reopen, people to get their lives back to normal without seeing a massive increase in the number of cases. And of course, crucially, we've not seen the same number of people sadly dying from COVID-19 or ending up in intensive care. So the signs from England and other parts of the UK are all very positive at the moment, and that's why I hope we see, almost all of the remaining restrictions lifted here in Scotland as well from the 9th of August.
Now, Nicola Sturgeon has requested a meeting with the Prime Minister later this week. What would you like to see? Would you like to see that meeting go ahead? And if so, what would you like to see be agreed in it?
Well, that's a decision for the Prime Minister. Clearly, this is a visit that has been planned for some time. And I think we just get into this situation where Nicola Sturgeon puts a letter up on Twitter to make an invite to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the whole of the United Kingdom, and he will be up here as much as he can, showing people that his government is improving the lives of people right across the United Kingdom. And I'm sure the First Minister and the Prime Minister will continue to meet, whether that's virtually or physically. But it's important as well that the Prime Minister, who I know has a busy schedule when he's here in Scotland, sees a range of different individuals and organisations and continues to meet people who have been involved both in the COVID response and also looking forward beyond COVID to ensuring that all parts of the United Kingdom benefit from decisions made by the UK government.
Now, there's been an enormous lack of cohesion across the UK throughout this pandemic. We've seen the ridiculous situation where people are being asked to put on a face mask as they pass Berwick upon Tweed if they're travelling from one part of the UK to another part of the UK. Do you think there needs to be a greater degree of cohesion and collaboration between the nations?
I think actually what we've seen is the public making up their own minds, and I've not travelled particularly far from Murray for several months, so this is only anecdotally, but I understand people on the train from Scotland down to England haven't seen a big difference. People were wearing a mask for the entire journey anyway, and I understand again anecdotally in London, the majority of people are still wearing a mask on the tube. So governments can advise, but I think we should also treat the public with the respect they deserve, and they can make their own minds up as well.